Hey there, welcome to this episode of the Space for Magic podcast. I am your host, Patty Lennon, and I want to talk to you about Archangels today. I've often talked about your spirit team here, working with your spirit guides, working with your angels. I work with the Archangels every single day, and I realized I haven't spent a lot of time focused on the work that I do with archangels and how I interact with archangels and how you might be able to use this process to help yourself. So over the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about the feeling of disorientation and confusion and varying levels of what is going on, which is the nature of being in transition and being in transformation. So I do want to remind you that despite the fact that you may feel lost, you may feel stuck, you may feel disoriented, you are not stuck, you are not lost, you are in fact very much on track. And I can tell you that because those very experiences are the experiences of going through a massive transformation. We talked about this on the training I referenced last week that happened. And that was a big aha for a lot of people, is that a lot of times we will conclude, because we don't know the answers and our brain feels confused, that we have lost our way. And in reality, if you think of, the transformation of a caterpillar to a butterfly, when it's in that chrysalis, it's a disorienting experience, right? You're letting go of everything that made sense. As the caterpillar has to let go of its legs, the very part of itself that gets it from point A to point B, that gets it food, that keeps it alive. It has to let go of all of that. And there is a point in time where a caterpillar is just releasing the last bit of its caterpillarness and just becoming a butterfly, where it's neither. And when you're in a massive transformation and you feel disoriented and you feel stuck and you feel lost, it's usually because you're right in that liminal place. And the archangels are a very powerful source of guidance and inspiration that you can tap into when you're feeling anything. I work with the archangels when I'm feeling inspired. I work with archangels when I'm feeling lost and when I'm scared, when I'm all the things. Like I said, I work with them on an almost daily basis. I would say it is every single day, but I'm sure there's some days where that has not happened for one reason or another. And so I want to walk you through a very simple way that I do this. Anything that's ever required very complicated processes is not something I can lean easily into, because my life is busy already. I have 2 kids. They are in so many activities. One of them does drive at this point. One will soon be driving, thank the Lord. So it's not quite as crazy as it used to be, but they are teenagers. And so, I have designed this business, I have designed this life specifically so that from the moment they walk in the door, if there is something going on for them where they need my guidance, where they need my support, that I can give it to them in a reasonable amount of time. So, I am checking in with them. I am spending time with them each day. We do eat dinner together. Most of the year, my son will be going off to college. Oh my goodness. So we won't, there'll be 3 of us eating dinner together starting in September. You can all listen to me cry about that, I'm sure, on the podcast as we get to August. I am involved in community events right now. At this point in time, I'm involved in doing things for the grad committees for the kids that are graduating this year. We've also got some, I have a very close relative who just had a baby, who is the love of my life right now. And so I'm spending time with them and helping. And Yeah, so there's just lots of stuff going on. And that means that having some detailed, complicated, oh, and then I'm running this business too. Having some detailed, complicated spiritual practice just isn't like, it's not realistic for me. So I'm telling you that because I'm guessing your life is pretty much similar to mine in its level of the directions you're pulled in and where you want to put your time and energy and what you value. And so I assure you that the archangels do not require um, complicated, difficult processes to work with them. And I think I lean into the archangels partly because having grown up Catholic, although I don't consider myself a Catholic any longer, but having grown up Catholic, Archangel Michael certainly and Archangel Raphael were two forces that I understood from a young age. And I think, especially when we are in places where we're feeling unsure of ourselves, which is where I was probably just a month ago, 2 months ago, um, we go back to the beings that feel the safest for us, which oftentimes reaches back into our childhood. Not always. Certainly, if you had a difficult relationship with your religion of origin, that might not be the case. That wasn't me. I didn't have a difficult relationship with the Catholic Church. I value the education I got through my Catholic schools. It's just that ultimately, as my values evolved, as my beliefs in the world evolved, there was just too many gaps between what the Catholic Church taught and what I believed to be true. And ultimately was why I decided to no longer practice the sacraments, really, no longer go to Mass, and no longer identify as a Catholic. But we don't have to throw the bathwater out with the baby. The baby out with the bathwater. Got that wrong. And, certainly my relationship to Jesus and my relationship to Mother Mary and a divine being. And now that we're going to talk about the archangels is still very much present in my life. So I want to talk about the archangels I work with personally. And there are other archangels. These are just the ones I work with and why I feel aligned. So I mentioned Archangel Michael and Raphael, but I should also mention Archangel Gabriel. So those three come from my Catholic upbringings. And then in addition, Archangel Jophiel and Archangel Metatron are two additional archangels I learned later on in life as I took the spiritual path, which I find very helpful. So we'll talk a little bit about what the role each of them play as far as the way I work with them. Now, other people may have a different relationship with these archangels. You may have a personal relationship and see them as a teacher or a leader or a mentor or a helper in an area of your life that I don't specifically express. This is how I learned them. This is how I've come to relate to them. This is how I've asked for their help. I've come to understand that I can ask for their help. So Archangel Michael, he is the guardian of light. And he is also the archangel who can help us with removing cords that we have attached, energy cords. So when I work with Archangel Michael, he is definitely the archangel I go to protect space. If you've ever done a reading with me, if you've ever had me do a reading for you, or you've been in a group experience where I've called in spirit, then I work with Archangel Michael to help us protect the space, right? So Archangel Michael protects the light so that darkness doesn't come in. So each morning, I ask Archangel Michael for help with releasing and dissolving any cords that I have attached that are ready to be released. I think this is something that not everyone understands, is that just because you'll have energy cords running, which are cords that you have, metaphysical cords you've attached to other people or they've attached to you where energy is transferred, they're not good to keep in place, right? We might do them for lots of different reasons, right? Every time my kids go out of the house and I'm not sure where they're going to be, without realizing it, I run an energy cord to them because I want to feel them and I want to make sure they have me attach them. But they're teenagers now. That's not a healthy relationship. It's not a healthy energetic relationship. So we have to dissolve those cords on a regular basis. There's also things like wounds that we had from growing up, especially, this was not my situation, but if you had a very dysfunctional parental relationship with your mother or father, it's quite possible you're still got energy running back to that earlier relationship, even if they've crossed over. There are cords that you have to situations that remain unresolved. And then whenever you feel sort of drained by what we would call an energy vampire, it's usually because they've run an energy cord to you. And so dissolving those cords can be really helpful to your energy, to sustaining your energy. And you can do this on your own, but sometimes some of those cords are a little firm. And so asking Archangel Michael to help is a great way for you to interact with Archangel Michael and support your own light, because Archangel Michael wants you. Archangel is a protector of us light workers. You are here to anchor the light on the planet. I know that because you wouldn't be listening to this podcast if you weren't. And so Archangel Michael, it doesn't want anything that's going to be draining our light, right? It's better for the whole planet if we dissolve those cords. Now, it used to be that I would cut those cords and I would have Archangel Michael use his sword of light to cut those cords. One of my mentors taught me that even cutting cords is a violent act. And so we really want to dissolve cords. So where I used to visualize Archangel Michael taking his sword and cutting the cord, now what I do is I watch his sword point light into the cord and watch the cord dissolve. So that's a little bit of a shift. So if you've ever done any cord cutting and you want to shift to cord dissolution, to dissolving, it's not a big shift. That's all it means, is rather than looking at it as this like slice, it's you dissolve it with light, right? And return it to love. Because almost always energy cords, even when they're built on dysfunction, there's some core of love there, like either you trying to take care of yourself or trying to take care of another. So each morning I ask for Archangel Michael's help in dissolving any cords that are ready to be dissolved, because we're not always ready to give up our cords. Even though we want to be completely free, we're not always ready to be completely free. And then I ask Archangel Michael to help me sustain my light on the planet. And one thing I've started to do recently is I'll visualize with my hands over my heart. I will visualize a ball of light in the center of my heart center, which is my light, my divine light. And then I ask Archangel Michael's help to just expand that light. And I watch it visually expand in all directions until it's 3 feet around me in all directions, which is the size of your typical energy body. The second archangel that I ask for help with every morning, and by the way, also with each of these, thank them for their help. So it's not just asking them for help, but thanking them, noticing the miracles they have worked, appreciating those miracles, being in appreciation. So with Archangel Raphael, he is, or she is, depending, or they are, depending on who you talk to, an archangel that can help you with your health on all levels. And remembering that you have many bodies. You have the energetic body, you have the physical body, you have the mental body, you have the spiritual body. And so I ask Archangel Raphael to help heal my body. I started offering this specific prayer during the pandemic: free my body of harmful viruses and bacteria. Free me of cravings and addictions and pain and suffering. There's been times where I know my thinking is really off base. And so I've also added, please free me from disordered thinking, right? Because when our thoughts get messed up, that's really all that's happening, is we're having disordered thinking. And raise all my bodies up to their highest and best level of health and vitality. And anytime that I feel off, And then I feel recovery from that. I am always appreciative of Archangel Raphael, knowing that they have called in their wisdom and their healing light to help. And with Archangel Michael, by the way, typically the colors associated with Archangel Michael are white and light purple. Archangel Raphael is a green light, a green healing light. And then Archangel Gabriel, because I do so much with my words here on the podcast, writing emails, talking to my community, and I really do believe my vehicle of offering my light to the world is my voice, right? Is my words. I will ask Archangel Gabriel to use that to know my truth and speak my truth with love. That's the main request I make of Archangel Gabriel each morning. And then when I'm going to do something like this, record a podcast, I'll ask Archangel Gabriel to help me and guide me in all ways, so that I am being a vessel of love and service. The next archangel that I ask for help from, I'm a needy one, aren't I? I'm asking for help all over the place, but I ask for all this help. And it did anchor me, especially in those times of feeling, like you're not sure which direction you're going in. Archangel Jophiel is the archangel I go to for beauty. And so a while ago, when I had hit perimenopause, I really started to see myself as kind of blah. And I was really having a hard time feeling beautiful, feeling the true beauty of this human form, knowing what a gift it was to be in this human form, but also feeling like I couldn't appreciate it. And no matter what I did, I couldn't get there. I mean, there were a lot of symptoms that were going on. I was gaining weight. I was having mood swings. So there were reasons why, I was struggling with that. And that's when I started asking Archangel Jophiel for help, because I felt so bad about not appreciating the gift that was this human form. And I just, it really did feel wrong. And yet I couldn't get out of that my own way myself. And so I started asking Archangel Jophiel to please help me see the beauty in myself and the beauty in the world. And then to also be able to receive beauty and give it to the world. Now, my astrology sign, my rising sign, my sun is Libra. I'm also a Libra. I'm a Libra sun and a Libra rising. And so Venus is a planet that's very much, connected to me. And Venus is all about beauty and love. So especially when I can't act upon what I know is part of my astrological DNA, I don't feel good about that. So Jophiel, Archangel Jophiel helps me with that. Archangel Jophiel also helps me bring beauty to my home and to the planet. And especially when something doesn't feel quite right, I will ask Archangel Jophiel for help. There was a while there where my office just didn't feel good. If you're watching this on video, you'll see behind me, the background looks different than it did a year ago. And I would just ask Archangel Jophiel, please help. And the thing is, you ask for the help, it's not going to come instantly, right? You just need to be open and patient. And probably my interactions with Archangel Jophiel were the most interesting because I had very little attachment. These were not prayers I had said before. And then something amazing happened. Hollis Rendelman, who is an interior designer and is also a training to be a facilitator of the receiving method in my program, stepped forward and offered to design the backdrop. She's like, I'm looking at it. It could be so much more fabulous. Can you help me? And by the way, if you're looking at this on video, she isn't even finished. I just haven't bought all the things that she recommended. But oh my goodness, I can already feel such a difference in this office. And so that's how the miracles happen, right? I didn't do anything. I just offered my true desire. And then Jophiel guided Hollis to me, and I'm so appreciative of that guidance and of Hollis's help. And then finally, Archangel Metatron. And Archangel Metatron works, among other things, with sacred geometry. And this was something I got inspiration on. It wasn't something I was seeking. It was suddenly Metatron stepped forward, Archangel Metatron stepped forward and said that they were willing to work with me in this way and use sacred geometry to clear my chakra system each morning. And what's really fascinating when I ask Archangel Metatron for this help, it isn't always the same geometry. So sometimes it will be a double helix, like a DNA, going through my chakra system and clearing it. Sometimes it's other types of sacred geometry. And I was speaking to someone that that I really trust around this, and they said, "Oh yeah, well, because it's based on what vibration you're at. Each sacred geometry has a different vibrational makeup, and so Archangel Metatron is going to call in and utilize a geometry that, in fact, matches your vibration." This has been the most fascinating to me because this was something I didn't go out seeking. It was something offered to me by Archangel Metatron. And I really love that. And when you stay open to the archangels, who are stepping forward to help you, you'll get these downloads yourself. And in fact, this chakra clearing has been so powerful for me that we're going to be offering, I'm going to be offering this chakra clearing. I'm going to be working with people in my upcoming live event, Unleash Your Magic, to do this chakra clearing. I'm so excited for the people attending the event to get this. If you are coming to the event, just know that's part of what we'll be doing during our 2 days together. And if you haven't bought your ticket for the event, it will be happening on June 21st and 22nd. I have been looking for a space to do a live event. Many contracts have just fallen through. So I finally decided that Source, Spirit, the divine, was pointing me in the direction of not doing a physical location, but in fact doing this virtually online. So it does not matter where you are in the world, you will be able to attend. And you can go to pattylennon.com/unleash your magic if you want to get your ticket. Again, it's going to be June 21st and 22nd. So fabulous. We've got amazing speakers lined up, and I will be guiding everyone throughout our 2 days together to call in helpers, including the archangels. So if that's interesting to you, then I know you're definitely going to love this event. We're going to be doing so many powerful experiences because it is time, people. It is time for us to exit our pity parties and start to really open up our magic in the world. I know you have felt stuck. I know you have felt lost. At least I think you have, because I know I have, and everyone else I've talked to has felt it. But it's time. It's time to shake that stagnation off, and I'm going to help you do it at this event. So go grab your ticket. I do have a prayer that I wrote up actually for my trained facilitators, because I had been talking to them about this prayer I do in the morning. So if you are interested in this prayer that I say every morning and how I call these archangels in, as well as my other spirit team helpers, I am happy to share that with you. Go to pattylennon.com/prayer, and you can download that prayer there, where I walk you through everything I say in the morning, each morning. Now, that prayer has evolved over time. And so I said, I don't have time for complicated processes. When you read it, it may feel a little extensive for you because you're taking my process and applying it to you. This process I use in the morning developed organically for me. So this just developed over time. So for me, it feels very fluid and easy. It may not feel that way to you. Don't feel like you've got to do my prayer to get it right, but it will give you a sense on how I, speak and the words I use to engage this energy. And really, can't we all use more archangel energy? We definitely are all in a position where we can benefit from some of the support of these powerful, powerful beings of light. And if that's interesting to you, then definitely check it out, pattylennon.com/prayer. And to get your ticket to the live event, Unleash Your Magic, go to pattylennon.com/unleash your magic. We will put the links in the show notes. I wish you a very good week, and always make space for magic.